I just think, just believing, continue to play the game, not letting the scoreboard or whatever is going on in the game in that moment determine how we come out and play. And so, obviously, I've had a ton of different games on this run here, but I think it all comes down to execution and how you execute. And so, just want to do that at a high level.
Jalen, being here now a few years, have you grown to appreciate what Dallas Week means to the fans in the city?
I appreciate every week as is because it's an opportunity to go out there and play. I feel, in this league, especially when you have success, every team is gonna give you a great fight, and I think for us, we always respect every opponent, and we just focus on executing to the best of our abilities.
Jalen, Nick can be pretty emotional on the sidelines, demonstrative, and you tend to, at least to us watching, you tend to keep an even keel. How much of that even keel is just you and who you are? And is there any part of that where you feel like you have to be that way as kind of like a compliment or counterbalance to Nick getting fired up as much as he does?
I think everything is who I am, genuinely, and I've always been that way, regardless of whomever and their personality is around me. I just try and, be who I've known and what I've known to be in terms of leadership, and plays itself out.
And what do you think the effect on the team is of the way you carry yourself like that?
I think that's a question you have to ask my teammates. I think I'm sorry for me to sit here and talk about that and how I affect them. Obviously, I just try and set the right example and do my job to the best of my abilities. And you hope that you encourage people to come along and to follow you, and all of it's done to try and set the right example. And so everybody has a different way of doing that.
Sort of a follow-up to those coming back from double-digit deficits. You never want to be in that position, I imagine, but over time, when you've been able to do that pretty consistently, do you think that's a silver lining for the offense as a whole to know you can do it, you're not going to panic?
I don't think about the statistics, the numbers, or the trends of the things that we've done. Just more so knowing that sometimes you can say, "Hey, we've been here before," and I think that goes without saying in the good and in the bad. And so, in the end, we just put our focus truly on executing. Executing, and going out there and trying to play our best.
You've been facing Dan Quinn's defense for a couple of years now with the Cowboys. Do you usually get what you prepare for, or does he throw a lot of things in there that maybe you didn't see, unscouted looks?
Yeah, I think that's something that goes without need to be said for the league as is. This is a league of disguises, as I've said before, a league of disguises, and he's always done a great job, obviously. But it'll be a great challenge. They have great defensive players, great offensive players. They got electrifying special team player and their returner. And so, the number one thing we have to do is execute. It's very consistent in that from week to week, and just trying our best to do our best.
I know a similar question was proposed to you before the Patriots game, but Jerry Jones said a few weeks ago, had you fall into them, he would have drafted you. Was that a possibility you thought could have happened at the time?
I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect.
During your time in the league, how have you learned about your process for physically recovering in time for the next game?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends upon, what you're going through, what you have going on. And I think when you play, what the game plan looks like, all of these different things, so many different variables that go into it. But obviously there's a lot of work being done, whether it be in the weight room or manually or whatever it is, to get your body back to where you want it to be for game time.
As far as the running game overall goes, Hurts for a couple games now. I know the passing game has been very successful, but is there anything more to getting the running game kind of on track?
I think just better execution. Better execution. Obviously, I have a lot of confidence in everybody up front, and even the guys that have to fill in at times, and then every running back that touches the ball. And so, everybody just, has to take care of the opportunities and take advantage of them when they come.
Jalen,
Nick,
on the other side of that, you're on track for career numbers in the passing game. What has it meant to get your passing game to this level, especially in those times where maybe you're limited because of injury in the running game?
Can you rephrase the question? Can you ask it again?
I know that you pride yourself on being a triple threat, and you've been dealing with something with your knee, but have been excelling as a passer. Like, just how what has that meant for you in this offense?
Yeah, I just I think it's just pure execution, and just going out there and making it go. I don't measure numbers and all of that based off of our success or whatever it is. It's just about winning. And so obviously a lot of great things are going on. I can't acknowledge that, but it means nothing if you don't win.
Nick spoke very highly about Micah Parsons. I know you went through this with the Rams and Aaron Donald, but as a quarterback, everybody's got good players, but there's players a little bit different. Do you have to be cognizant of knowing where 11 is at all times?
Yeah, I think in this league, we've kind of seen a change in, not only the edge rusher but the defensive player on the D line. And there's so many different guys in the league that, rush the quarterback and are definitely disruptive. And so you just have to be ready to handle that.
Tell me, how gratifying is it to be a part of this thing with A.J. Brown right now where, he's setting NFL numbers, not just team numbers, and you guys are just on a great roll together?
Yeah, I think A.J. would be the first to say, he's grown so much as a person, as a player, over the time that I've obviously known him. And the things that he's doing right now it's never been done before. It's as simple as that. It's never been done before. And I think within it all, I don't know what he said to you guys, but it was something along the lines of, I'll enjoy that later. Right now, winning is the only thing that matters. And that's not just me saying that. That's every guy in that locker room saying that. And that's just the mentality that we have right now. And so, there's a ton of this, a ton of that, a ton of attention brought to these different things. We may see us doing something or whatever it is. I mean, the reality is this is the only thing that matters. And that's my perspective and my mentality on it. And trying my best to lead in the areas that we need to be led and do my job to the best of my ability so we can do so.
We have time for two more.
Nick mentioned how beneficial it is to have the memory bank of having played X amount of games now that you have. Is a lot of that natural, or do you have to really work to bring up those memories and keep them at the front of your mind?
I think it's all natural. I've said, I remember sitting here in the same room as a rookie or as a first-year starter and saying, things weren't going great, but I said experience was the biggest teacher. That doesn't change. That's the truest thing. So when you experience things, reality is times have changed, but mentality has never changed. Time has changed, but mentality hasn't. And so the more you experience, you'd hope the better you work, the better you grow, or the further you go with the work that you put in. And when you see these different things out there and you have more experiences to call on, it's definitely always helpful.
On the mic up clip, they showed you talking to AJ, and you saw the 11, and it made you think of Julio. And AJ spoke to us about how kind of Julio molded or was the guy who showed him how to play the position, if you will. How much of Julio do you see in AJ now that you work with both of them?
That's a tough one to answer, considering Julio's been doing this for a long time, and he's still doing it at a high level, but it's different times. And so I definitely caught a flash in that moment. More so of a thing of, when you think Julio Jones is on your team, you think number 11. That's how my mind processed it. And so when I saw number 11 running, that's what I saw, or at least that's what I wanted to see, I guess, or imagined. I don't know. But they're two great receivers, and I know AJ has a lot of respect for him, a lot of love for him, and in many ways he has molded him as he's been someone AJ has looked up to for a long time. And to see their companionship and their friendship now is great, and it's great for our team.